talk.
We'll be good. Everybody's gonna behave. My audience. All right.
Is it recording now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many times I've heard the comment, I don't know how you do it, Sarah. My friends are referencing to me being an Air Force spouse. There have been many occasions where I have had to manage our family and with my husband away. To me, it's just something I do because I'm married to an Air Force member. After this speech, you will understand about the life of an Air Force spouse. You will learn a bit about how to deal with moves, friendships, and deployments. Behind each Air Force member, you will find the proverbial rock that each Air Force member stands on. I interviewed several Air Force spouses about some of the essential things they felt others should know about Air Force spouses. Between the information from those spouses and me, you should have a great picture of what an Air Force spouse is. I have been an Air Force spouse for over 14 years. The Air Force has moved us to places I had never planned on. We've lived in Panama City, Florida, Alamogordo, New Mexico, Panama City, Florida, San Antonio, Texas, Papillion, Nebraska, and Biloxi, Mississippi 3 times. I've even lived with my parents for 6 months in Ohio due to my husband's training in Alabama right after Hurricane Katrina while we lived in Biloxi, Mississippi. My husband has been deployed 7 times in the span of our 14-year marriage. Plus, he has been away for training for a few weeks several other times. With my experiences, I understand the importance of being a supportive spouse to make his military career easier. As I have learned from personal experience and also from interviewing other Air Force spouses, there are several traits that help you to have success as an Air Force spouse. Jennifer Diavino and Jenny Rowley, fellow Air Force spouses, feel that being able to adapt to change and flexibility are 2 traits that are a must to be successful as an Air Force spouse. Schedules can change at the drop of a hat, and the place or timing of a move can change when you least expect. Having the ability to change your frame of mind easily and adapt to a new situation makes life so much easier. Another spouse, Kim Chipman, says independence and organization are some keys for being successful as an Air Force spouse. Being able to do things by yourself and handle a complicated family schedule is something many spouses have to do if their spouse has a schedule that changes or if they're away. Having flexibility and the ability to adapt helps you with the moves that you will inevitably have. Every move you make has new experience and new challenges. The National Military Family Association's website says military families will be exposed to unique experiences and challenges. Each spouse loves something different about the moves associated with the Air Force. Jenny told me she loves the chance to go to a place she has never lived and has experiences she wouldn't have had otherwise. Kim and I love the fact that you purge items no longer wanted or needed. It's a great chance to reorganize. Each base has what you would call base housing. It's a government-owned house you rent and is on the base's property. This, of course, makes it easy for the military member to commute because it's close. You may also rent or own a home off base. If you buy a home, you are responsible to sell the home or rent it out before your next move. The military has contracted movers that are hired to move your household goods. This is great because you don't have to worry about packing and moving your household goods, but it can be a pain if the moving company is less than reliable. Almost every Air Force spouse you meet, though, will tell you that they get settled in quickly because you're only living there for a limited amount of time and you want to establish a routine as quickly as possible. Every spouse I have spoken with feels the worst part of being an Air Force spouse is leaving the friends you have made. Thankfully, with the internet and social networking, it is much easier to keep up with friends you've made. The internet is a great resource to gain information about the base, the surrounding area, and also a great way to find some groups to be a part of. You can learn about the good and not so good things about each base from the internet. Jenny, Jennifer, Kim, and I all use the internet for groups and networking. We have also used our churches to find new people to associate with, and we're not afraid to talk with our neighbors. We have learned to risk relationships, and so our experiences at our new location is a good and memorable one. Be social. Being antisocial will only hurt you in the long term. It's best to adapt to the change and build new relationships. The friends you make at each location often become lifelong friends. These friends often become a lot like family to you. The bond of being an Air Force spouse can be a strong one. Not many people understand what it's like to have a spouse who has a schedule that's ever changing and sometimes they have to leave at a moment's notice to defend our country. Creating a local family can help you get through the tough times that you will inevitably have. That local family will give you someone to depend on, someone to know that you are loved and valuable, even though you move frequently. Having that local family can also give you consistency in an ever-changing environment. Having these people gives you someone to share those holidays with when you can't travel home. They give you someone to call on when you need a last-minute babysitter or just someone to complain to, and they know what you're saying. These people show our children the value of a good, strong relationship. It shows them the value of being independent, yet dependent, especially when your spouse is deployed and you're doing everything by yourself. Deployments are rough for everyone. According to the book, A Civilian's Guide to the U.S. Military by Barbara Shading, a deployment is considered leaving the normally assigned duty area, usually as a unit, to serve temporarily in another area. Oftentimes, these other areas are overseas to support a wartime mission. This is a time that is high stress for all involved. Air Force spouses have an important job. Ellie Kay tells us about that importance in her book, Heroes at Home, when she says, when military members know that their spouse can hold things together at home, and when they have confidence in their spouse, that their spouse believes in what they do for a living, they are better able to concentrate on their duties. Sometimes that concentration is the difference between life and death. The independence that I have spoken about is what a spouse needs to get through these deployments. Jenny, Kim, Jennifer, and I feel keeping busy and maintaining relationships is a key to a deployment that is less stress. Jennifer also adds to forget those things that go wrong. Don't let things sour in your relationship because you are left home with things that do go wrong. No military member wants to be away from home. Military.com even tells us that numerous military spouses have found that normal routines and communications are keys to filling in the spaces left when a military member deploys. Staying strong and upbeat and keeping a routine helps the time to go faster when you are separated from your spouse due to a deployment. The biggest points are to get involved, meet new people, be independent, and willing to change. Embrace the sometimes difficult life of being an Air Force spouse. You can now see that being an Air Force spouse is a very important job. If we didn't have spouses that could support their military members, our military would have no success. As an Air Force spouse, it's important to be flexible, understanding, independent, and at the same time dependent and capable to do many things on your own. Oftentimes, the military member can't be available and the spouse is left to fill many roles. So the next time you thank a military member for their service, thank that spouse that stands behind them. Without those spouses, the military wouldn't be successful. And that's a wrap.
I did a really good job.
Ow.